Alrighty, everybody at home, here we go. Here is your warm-up. Write the following values in a shorter way. If you can remember, write it in the shorter way. That would be super awesome. Give it a try. You're going to pause because we're ready to go. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go, everybody. Settle in, folks. Table C, we're having an awful lot of trouble keeping it together there. Want to make sure we're doing good work. If we want to stick around, then when we're doing our new seating chart for our fourth quarter, which is in a little while, we're getting great citizenship, making sure we're meeting my expectations and doing all the right things. Let's see here, guys. Number one, just out of curiosity, does anybody recognize who that is, or maybe something that she's from? Yes, Gavin. That's okay, Molly. Abbott Elementary. I think she did play. Did she? Is she on that? I don't know. Oh, that could be. I'm not sure. Is it good? Is it good? I'll have to check that out. Oh, I'm into that for sure. So that's Taraji P. Henson. I know her from Hidden Figures, and my wife used to watch Empire back when that was on. She really liked that show. So let's see if we can get a little bit of help out there. Rachel, how would you shorten Taraji P. Henson's net worth? I'm glad we're talking. So there's a couple ways to do it. One of them is we've got a 12 and a bunch of zeros. So you could shorten it as 12 times how many tens would you need to add that many zeros, Rachel? So it would be 12 times 10 to the 6th. Now that's one way to shorten it, but I would actually rather you shorten it so that there's only one number that comes before the decimal, which would actually turn that into 1.2 times 10 to the, and Rachel, how many numbers come after the decimal if I put it right there? So it would be times 10 to the 7th. Thank you. How many of us are able to get 12 times 10 to the 6th or 1.2 times 10 to the 7th for that? Great, love to see it. Here, Nora. Wait, what's her name again? Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson. Taraji, yes. Can anybody correctly identify the fellow in number 2? The fellow in number 2. Conrad, who's that guy? That is indeed Keanu Reeves. From what I understand, he is the nicest person in Hollywood. Like he's a super. They like made a little book of like all the nice things that he's done. I feel that's great. I love that. He like usually acts in movies where he's either extremely violent or a huge idiot, but in reality, he's a very nice, calm, like cool guy. All right, let's see here. How about we go for Malia? How did you shorten Keanu's net worth there? I'm glad we're talking. So I would think of it as two ways. You could think of it as 38 followed by a bunch of zeros, or the one I would prefer, Malia, is 3.8, and then you tell me how many numbers would come after the decimal. Which one feels more comfortable to you, the 38 or the 3.8? Let's do it. So if I put that decimal right here, Malia, how many digits come after that decimal? So I would write 3.8 times 10 to the 8th. That's how I would write that. How many of us got 3.8 times 10 to the 8th or see how Malia got that and aren't too concerned? That's great. Awesome. Very good. Can anyone correctly identify this guy on number 3? Can anyone say number 3? Let's see, Bronson, who's that guy? I think it's his last name. It's Chris Evans. Yeah, he's one of the hot Chris's. Like, there's so many of them. Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris. There's one more. I'm missing one. Pike? Chris Pike? Is he a handsome Chris? Chris Pratt. I got Chris Pratt. He's one of the handsome Chris's. Back in my day, he was a funny Chris, though. He wasn't handsome Chris. What's that? Yeah, we got Chris Hemsworth. I swear there was a Pike, isn't there? Yeah. Is he? No, wait. Was he the guy who played Kirk? No, he's Captain America. Yeah, Chris Pike is Kirk. So there's 5. I think there's 5 hot Chris's. Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pike, Chris Pratt. Is Chris? I don't know who Chris Giles is. Never heard of Chris Giles. Oh, indeed. There you go. All right. Oh, perfect. Look at this. Bronson, how would you shorten Chris Evans' net worth? Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah, very good. Because it's if you put the decimal here, it's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 numbers that come after it. That's perfect. Very good. Can anybody correctly identify number four? Number four, I have had him on there for years, but the past 3 years, I've had at least one student in all my classes who recognizes that guy. Does anybody recognize the guy on number four? Akora, do you know what he does? Why he is so rich? He is not an actor. In fact, anybody who's seen him do his thing, he is no actor. He is not a computer guy. Although he does, although he does work with a lot of high tech stuff. Spider-Man, he is not one of the Spider-Men. Guys, you know what? If you're not, if you don't recognize him, I think we'd be here all day before you figured out that this guy is worth $31,500,000. His name is Zach Bagans, and the reason he is so rich is that he is a famous ghost hunter. He is a famous ghost hunter. Uh, no, here's the deal. I believe he believes what's happening is real. I for sure do that. But by myself, my wife and I love watching that show at night. It just helps us get to sleep. Yes, Sakura. Ghost Adventures is so much fun. It's so much fun. Aaron's my favorite though. Aaron's my favorite guy. He used to just be the cameraman, but he's so expressive. Yes, Cora. I could see that. I could see that. Is that guy? That's Paul Rudd though, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Looks like you. He's got the right haircut. That's for sure. Anyway, let's shorten Zach Bagan's net worth. Josh, how would you shorten Zach Bagan's net worth? Mm-hmm. Yeah. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I agree. That's how I would do those. If I'm given a large number and need to turn it into scientific notation, I would just put the decimal after the first digit and then count how many it comes after and then write the number without those zeros on the back. How many of us feel like we could write these numbers into that shortened form without too much trouble? That's great. These are what we call scientific notation, okay? And we're going to get into that right now. It's 118th day of school, guys. You know the first known mention of a wheelbarrow occurred in the year 118 AD? Like it's a picture, like it's like a Chinese portrait, and there's just a dude in the background with a wheelbarrow. I'll have to think about like those like inventions that we super take for granted, and how much they must have blown people's minds back then. Like, could you imagine if there was a guy being like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like putting all this stuff in a box, and he's like, this is so annoying because if I put all this stuff in a box, it's really heavy. But if I take it individually, I have to walk across the street 100 times. And then this guy comes up with a wheelbarrow, and everyone's like, oh, that guy put a wheel on a box. I can't believe it. That guy's a genius. But anyway, happy Pokemon Day. Yay. So I got to tell you this story because it just cracked me up. So 2 weeks ago when we were doing parent-teacher conferences, my wife had parent-teacher conferences and I didn't, but it was my daughter's gymnastics day. So I had to drive out and get my little dude Clark from daycare, then pick up Autumn, and then take her to gymnastics. And by the time we were going to get home, it was going to be way too late to make like a decent dinner. So I just gave up and got McDonald's. And I don't know if you guys were aware, but the Happy Meal toy right now is what? It's Pokemon cards. And so my kids open the things, they get the cards. I don't know very much about Pokemon, and Autumn's never really talked about Pokemon. But Autumn pulls out the cards and goes, Pokemon? And I'm just in the kitchen making my dinner because I don't like eating McDonald's, so I was okay to eat late. And she's like, Dad, and I was like, yeah. And she goes, don't Pokemon suck? And I was like, whoa, all right. Anyway, let's see here, guys. What is our first essential question? I'd love to get that from Luke. Yeah. What is scientific notation? And how can I use it to more simply express large numbers? By the way, I noticed, Luke, that you read that from your paper, so you already had it written down. That makes me very happy, and I think you'll put you on the star team for that. Thank you for that. Appreciate you writing those down before we even have to. By the way, Jeopardy, they're right on the money. So we've got, let's see here, guys. We've got the $2 bill and the 5-cent coin. Does anyone know the name of the president who was on the $2 bill or the 5-cent coin? Go ahead. It was not Andrew Jackson, not George Washington. It is Thomas Jefferson. There you go. Hey, I'm always like first try. Yeah, that's Thomas Jefferson. And then sea creatures, I see turtle. Sea turtle. I need it to be a sea turtle. Very good. Okay, moving right along, guys. Got a pencil? Scientific notation. So, a value in scientific notation looks like this. Something times 10 to the something. Okay, and there's a couple of rules about these somethings. The first rule you're probably not going to be too upset about. The n has to be an integer. That is, it has to be a whole number or the opposite of a whole number. Like it could be 0, it could be 12, it could be negative 739. It could be any of those, but it can't be like 4.5. But I don't think you guys will complain about exponents not being allowed to be decimals. Because that's next year you have to deal with that. This number right here, guys, has only one digit before the decimal. That's probably the most important and probably the hardest to keep track of. Once you get that written, guys, I want you to put your pencils down for a second. I'm going to write some stuff under here, and I don't want you to worry about writing it. I just want you to look at it. Okay. When I say teach, I want you to say okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers, and 2 of them would not be allowed to be my A. There are 2 of them that would not be allowed to be my A. When I say teach, I want you to say okay. Which of these 2, 9.8, negative 7.43, 48, 0.895, or negative 9, would not be allowed to be my A for my scientific notation? Give it a try and teach. No, you don't have to write this down. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. We're so close. Let's finish this off, and then we'll once we get to work time, we'll get that going. Okay? We're so close. Okay, come on up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see here, guys. I'm going to give them a green check mark if they're okay and a red X if they're not. Is 9.8 yes or no? It can be my A. Yes or no? It is a yes, absolutely. How about negative 7.4? That is actually a yes. There's only one number in front of the decimal, and it's negative 7. 3. Yes. And the reason is because the decimal would be secretly hiding right here. How about 48? 48's definitely no, because the decimal would be right here, and there are 2 digits in front of it. 0.895. No. 0 does not count as that, right? We don't count the 0. That would have to be 8.95. Negative 9. Yes, because there's only 1 digit in front of the decimal. Very good. Okay, got a pencil? The last thing is this has to be a 10. Because we live in a base 10 system, that number has to be a 10. If it doesn't follow these rules, it's not in scientific notation. So let's see here, guys. Let's write 102 million. That's 102, 000, 000. Will you write that in scientific notation for me? In fact, let's make it a negative 102 million. Let's say that's how much you owe your sister. Negative, you owe your sister $102 million. So when I say teach, I want you to say, okay, how can I write that so it follows the rules? There's only one digit before the decimal. It's got a 10, and its exponent is an integer. Give it a shot, and here we go. Can we make a payment plan? Teach! Let's see. Is this yours, Rachel?
Mine.
Oh, it's yours. Okay, but is it filled in? Oh, perfect. Let's see. So we got the signature. Will you just write their name here? I just need to make sure I have their full name there, and you can put that in there. As long, yeah, you can't put the signature in, but you can put that top part in. That's okay, Malia. It's coming over. Let's see. Yes. I got to do one more thing. Let's see here. 6. So remember, we have to count how many places are there after that decimal. Perfect. I'll get you something from the cup. Yeah. That's right. Very good. Did you get the same thing as he did, Oliver? Make sure you make it a negative for me. Okay. Can I get you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Molly, what did you get for that? Very good. Because if you put the decimal here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digits afterward. There's only one digit in front of the decimal, -1, and then you write the rest, and then you got there. Now, I have a question, guys. How many people here feel like they could do this but are not sure how they put it in Canvas? Yeah. So there's a way that computers talk about scientific notation that we need to know, and it goes like this. Got a pencil? -1.02, and instead of writing times 10 to the power of, you write a capital E and then 8. E means times 10 to the power of. So it would be -1.02 E8. That's what you would put in Canvas. That's Canvas. That's paper. It is no spaces. No spaces. Bronson, did you have a question?
I was gonna ask, I don't think it's right. Would 10 count as one number or two numbers?
2. That's 2 digits because there's a 1 and a 0. Great question. Because the 0, I totally get it. Does the 0 count? It does because it's got a number in between. Molly.
Will you remind us when we have to take a skill check?
Of course. In fact, when we work on our self-assessment here in about 5 minutes, we'll get that going. So here's the other thing, guys. You need to be able to go backwards as well. So this is what we call scientific notation. This one right here and this one right here. But I want you to be able to go from scientific notation to standard form. Got a pencil? What if I said, turn this in, get this out of scientific notation? 9.9 times 10 to the 11th power. How could you write that so it was out of scientific notation? Talk it out and let's see what you think. Teach! Okay, let me get that cup for Miss Malia. That's true, it is a mug. Here you are, Miss Malia. You're very welcome. Malia, what's the best color Skittle? The red ones are pretty good. I like the orange ones. My favorite are greens now that they've changed them away from the sour apples. Because when they were sour apple, it sucked. And then when they changed it back to lime, everything was good again. I didn't like the sour apple ones. Okay, can I get you guys back up here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a Scottish accent, no less. Let's see here. Can I get this from Almas? What'd you get for this? Aye, it's the opposite. Your calculator might do it for you. I don't know, can. You could try. Aye, it doesn't do it. So here's what we're going to have to do. Aye. Aye, exactly so. Because if the decimal was here, it would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros afterwards. So it's 99 and 10 zeros. I'll take it on Canvas with or without the commas. You don't have to put the commas. You don't have to put the commas. Can we try one more of those? Got a pencil? 1.875 times 10 to the, let's say, the ninth. Give it a shot and see how it goes. How would you rate that in standard form? Teach. There you go. Aye, because you just take that away, right? It's got those three non-zeros. There you go. Aye, sometimes it can and sometimes it canna. Like almost showed us. On that last one, our calculator couldn't help. This one could, though. Oh, don't tell that to a Scot or an Irish person. They won't appreciate it. The accents are a little different too. Your Scottish comes from down here, like you say it in your chest, But the Irish, they say it up here, up here in your nose a little bit. So there's a slight difference. Aye, Jayla. One, so let's see here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, almost. So you didn't put 9 0. So it goes, if the decimal is here, I need 9 spaces after it. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right there. So you just get rid of those two and fix it. Let's see here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Aye, that's perfect. Exactly so. Exactly so. Aye, Gavin. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Aye, you did. You're perfect. You did it perfectly. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Exactly so. No problem. Okay. Can I get you back up here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Reese, how do you feel about this? Oh, it's no problem, lassie. You got this. Do you feel like you got the right answer here? Go ahead and put your voices off, guys, so I can hear Reese, please. It's not quite that many. And I'll tell you why. That's all right, Reese. Here's how I want you to do this. The first step to doing this, Reese, is you write it down without any decimals in it at all, okay? So 1, 8, 7, 5. Now this 9's telling me I need 9 places after where my decimal was. So if you count it off, Reese, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does that make sense? And what am I going to fill in those blank spaces, lassie? Zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And honestly, you can put it in like that. You don't need to put the commas. But if you like putting commas like I do, every 3 digits, you just do that. After seeing that a few times, how many of us are feeling just fine and dandy there? Grand. When I said teach, I want you guys to say, okay, you guys can go ahead and work on your self-assessment, excuse me. I think it's 12.1. In any case, it's scientific notation and a very large. I forgot the number on it. Oh, where is it? Hey, there she is. Is it 12? Aye, it's 12.1 scientific notation. Open up your Chromebooks and let's hit it. Give it a shot and teach. That it did not say. I I just want to point out that does not say notation at all. I do not know. Oh, so sorry. What happened there? That says notatios. I clearly I had a seizure or something. All right, that's